Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video today, we would be talking about some most important ITTOs or inputs, tools and techniques and outputs from the chapter of risk management for your PMP and CAPM exams. And most importantly, we would be learning the correct strategy which you need to use to learn ITTOs to solve the questions in your exam correctly from these topics. So if you have watched my previous videos on ITTOs guys, you will know that I always focus on the Pareto's principle whenever it comes to learning ITTOs. So what that means is guys, I always focus on the 20% of the ITTOs from each of the topics which will generate 80% of your questions in the PMP exam as far as the questions from ITTOs are concerned. So this way you are already cutting down the laundry list of ITTOs which PMBOK 6 has by more than half. So in this same format guys, today we would be discussing 15 most important ITTOs from the topic of risk management for your PMP and CAPM exams. And that's only 15 of the 100 plus ITTOs from the topic of risk management in PMBOK. So if you are struggling currently to learn ITTOs for your PMP and CAPM exam, please watch this video from the start to end and do not skip any section of these 15 ITTOs that I'd be discussing in this video today. So before we start guys, a quick shout out to the sponsors of today's video, which is Tech Canvas. Tech Canvas provides great boot camps on project management certifications such as PMP, CAPM, PMI, ACP, etc. from PMI approved training providers. More on Tech Canvas later during the video. Right, okay, so let's get the discussion started today for the ITTOs on the topic of risk management. So the first step to learn ITTOs is to understand the logical framework that forms the bedrock of the whole process. So all of my previous ITTOs videos follows this same framework, okay? Now, before we start, let me do a quick revision of this framework for you. Whenever you are studying any ITTOs, you need to understand each of those ITTOs with this framework, okay? Now, this framework goes as, what is the input, tool and technique or output during the process A, which or that B. Now, what is A? A is the name of the process with which this input, tool and technique or output is related, okay? And what is B? B is the characteristic, feature, use, intent or value of that project artifact or tool, okay? Now, if you go through this framework as a whole, it reads that what is the input, tool and technique or output during the process, the name of the process, which has the characteristic, the feature, the use, intent or value which it adds to the project as a whole, okay? Now, this whole thing will become very clear when we see it through an example in a moment. Right, so now that you have understood the framework guys, we need to move to the second step of the process where you need to apply this framework to solve memory quizzes from ITTOs. So don't get scared by the word memory, okay? Because let me tell you, this has nothing to do with memorization. And let's go back to the slide and see what it means. Now here, let's understand this framework through an example, okay? Now the question goes as this, what is the input, okay, link it to this framework, to the process develop project charter. So A is develop project charter, which talks about B. And what is B here? B is the economic feasibility studies to establish the validity of benefits of a selected component as part of the project. Okay, now if you see very closely here guys, what it's trying to help you to understand that there is an input in the process develop project charter which has the economic feasibility study as a part of it, okay? Now this is the logical thinking or the logical interrelationship which you need to understand when you study ITTOs. Now what's this input? The input is project business case. Now if you study ITTOs like this, you will understand that yes, project business case is an input to the process develop project charter, which talks about the economic feasibility studies to establish validity of project benefits. So that's how guys, your brain will retain business case as an input to the process of develop project charter, which carries this value, use or intent as a project tool or artifact. So you see guys, when it comes to learning ITTOs, this is more about the logical and systematic learning rather than just rote memorization. And this is how you should be studying ITTOs for your PMP and CAPM exams. So with that, let's now move into the ITTOs from the topic of risk management for your PMP and CAPM exam. And the questions that we would be practicing as per the framework that we have just learned will be in form of a quiz. So let's first understand the rules of the quiz, guys. Okay. So we'll focus on ITTOs from risk management. Questions will be coming as flashcards. There will be 15 questions. So you can redo the quiz till you start scoring 15 out of 15. Okay. You will have about 15 seconds to think of an answer, and after that the slide will flip and you will see the answer on the next slide. We'll be using the same ITTO framework as we learned right now to go through these 15 ITTOs. Okay. And in the end, there will be a score analysis which will give you an indication in terms of how well you are prepared for your PMP exam. Now, as I mentioned that you can redo the quiz again and again till you start scoring 15 out of 15. So with that, let's go to question number 1. I will read out the questions as well as the answers in case you are listening to the audio version of this video. Okay. Question number 1. What is the output of the process plan risk management that describes risk strategy, risk categories, methodology for mitigation, protocols for mobilizing contingency or management reserves, etc.? Answer: the risk management plan. It describes risk strategy, risk categories, methodology for mitigation, protocols for mobilizing contingency or management reserves, etc. Question number 2. What is an input to the process of identify risks that assess probability of a risk occurring due to budget insufficiency? Answer: cost estimates. Cost estimates provide quantitative assessments of project costs, and a structured review of these documents may indicate any gap in the current estimates that may pose a risk to the project. Question number 3. What is the tool and technique used during the process identify risks which examines the project from angles of strength, weakness, opportunities and threats to assess risks? Answer: SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, which means analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, is a framework used to identify risks in a project. SWOT analysis assesses the internal and external factors as well as current and future potential factors to identify risks. Question number 4. What is the tool and technique used during the process identify risk which uses frameworks such as PESTEL, TCOP, VUCA, etc. to find sources of overall project risk? Answer: prompt lists. A prompt list is a predetermined list of risk categories that might give risk to individual project risks. Some common strategic frameworks for this include PESTEL, TCOP or VUCA. The details of each one of them is given in the slide. Question number 5. What is the output of the process identify risks that captures the list of identified risks with potential owners? Answer: risk register. The risk register captures details of identified individual project risks. The results of perform qualitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, implement risk responses, and monitor risks are recorded in the risk register as those processes are conducted throughout the project. I hope this is all starting to make sense for you guys, okay? Now, if you are looking for a PMI authorized bootcamp to prepare you for the PMP exam, I would recommend that you check the PMP certification training program offered by TechCanvas. So this is the website of TechCanvas, guys, the website where you can register for their PMP certification training. If you see here, this is the badge of a PMI authorized training provider. Okay. As far as the course is concerned, you see that TechCanvas delivers this course through PMI authorized training providers. You will have access to 2000 plus PMP exam questions to test your knowledge. There will be full-length mock practice exams. TechCanvas will also help you in terms of PMP exam application if you are facing any issues. And you can also use this training to claim your 35 PDUs as a part of your eligibility requirement of the PMP exam. Moving on, if you scroll further down their website, okay, you will see the testimonials of successful PMP candidates who have actually taken this training program and got benefited from the same. In terms of the training highlights, there are real life scenarios and class activities. There will be flashcards to help you to revise the concepts quickly. There will be mathematical formulas and calculations which are key for your PMP exam preparation, and there will be crossword puzzles as well. So here in this section, you will see the full course curriculum of TechCanvas in terms of what are the topics the training program will be covering for you. Here you will see the profile of your instructors, PMI approved instructors. Okay, and here in this section, you will be able to see the training fees both for the professional tier pack and the ultimate tier pack. On top of these, guys, if you are using the discount code for my channel, which is PMP with rate 10, which you will see now on the screen, you will get an additional 10% discount on top of these prices already. Okay, so I strongly believe that's a wonderful offer which has been put forward by TechCanvas to help the PMP exam aspirants. On top of this, guys, TechCanvas is also offering you a free PMP exam simulator with 200 questions. I'll be putting forward the link in the description section of this video. So please go ahead and use this exam simulator as a part of your PMP exam preparation, guys. Okay, it's free. You just need to provide your name and email address and you will have access to all these 200 questions. Question 6. What is the tool and technique used during the process? Perform qualitative risk analysis that evaluates the degree of reliability of the data about individual project risks. Answer: risk data quality assessment. This evaluates the degree of reliability of the data about individual project risks and forms a primary basis of doing qualitative risk assessment. The use of low quality data will lead to poor risk response strategy. Question 7. What is the tool and technique used during the process? Perform qualitative risk analysis that assess how likely it is for a risk to occur during a project and what impact would it have as a result. Answer: risk probability impact assessment. This is the process of assessing the probabilities and consequences of risk events if they are realized to ascertain a RPN, which is risk priority number. The results of this assessment are then used to prioritize risks to establish a most to least critical importance ranking for each one of the risks. Question 8. What is the tool and technique used during the process? Perform quantitative risk analysis that assess combined effect of individual project risks to ascertain a probabilistic distribution of the potential impact of the risk on achieving project objectives. Answer: data analysis, or maybe an example is Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo analysis seeks to ascertain that if a risk occurs, how it will affect the schedule or the cost of the project. Monte Carlo gives the project manager a range of possible outcomes and probabilities to allow the project manager to consider the likelihood of different scenarios. Question number 9. What is the tool and technique used during the process perform quantitative risk analysis that assess the impact of a risk through a statistical model by determining how target variables are affected based on changes in the input variables? Answer: sensitivity analysis. An example could be tornado diagram. Sensitivity analysis is a tool used in risk modeling to analyze how the different values of a set of independent variables affect a specific dependent variable under specific conditions. Read the slide for more details, and I have also attached a picture of tornado diagram. Question 10. What is the tool and technique used during the process perform quantitative risk analysis that assess the impact of a risk by selecting the best expected probability of occurrence of several alternative courses of action? Answer: decision tree analysis. Decision tree analysis involves visually outlining the potential outcomes, costs, and consequences of a complex decision by assigning probability and expected outcome for each course of action. I have attached a picture of decision tree as well in the slide. I hope you are liking this video, guys. Okay, now you know what to do. Please hit that like button and let me know that at least you are valuing such content, and that will help me to churn out more videos like this for you in this channel. And also, if you have some specific topics which you want me to cover in this channel, please let me know in the comment section of this video. So I hope I would see the likes going up for this video. Okay, now let's move on to the quiz. Question 11. What is the tool and technique used during the process perform quantitative risk analysis that represents risks as a set of entities, outcomes, and influences together with the relationships and effects between them? Answer: influence diagrams. Influence diagram is a helpful visual model showing how the risk events of a project influence each other and in combination how they affect the overall project delivery. I have included a picture of influence diagram in the slide. Question 12. What are the tools and techniques used during the process plan risk responses which delineates different strategies which can be used to manage threats and opportunities? Answers could be: strategies for threats used during plan risk response may be escalate, avoid, transfer, mitigate, or accept. And strategies for opportunities during plan risk response could be escalate, exploit, share, enhance, or accept. Read about each one of them from PMBOK Edition 6. Question 13. What is a key output of the process plan risk responses which may result in the update of cost or schedule baseline of the project? Answer: change requests. Planned risk responses may result in a change request to the cost and the schedule baseline or other components of the project management plan. Change requests are processed for review and disposition through the Perform Integrated Change Control framework. Question 14. What is a key tool and technique used in the monitor risk process which compares the technical deliverables or KPIs of the project with baseline to assess how well risks in the project have been managed. Answer: technical performance analysis. This requires the definition of objective and quantifiable measures of technical performance which can be used to compare against the baseline. This provides the project manager a good understanding of how well risks have been managed during the project and also helps to plan corrective actions if any. Examples could be number of defects that has been delivered to the customer or number of times the cost baseline have been revised. Question 15. What is a key tool and technique used in the monitor risk process which monitors the amount of contingency reserve left for the project and manages contingency and reserve funds accordingly? Answer: reserve analysis. This monitors the amount of contingency reserves left for the project and manages the contingency and reserve funds accordingly. Note that the project manager is only allowed to use contingency reserves for risk mitigation. Use of management reserve is treated as an escalation and needs a perform integrated change control process to be triggered in order to mobilize the funds. So this concept is very important, guys, for your PMP or CAPM exam. Okay. Please remember this fundamental difference between contingency reserves and management reserves. So that's your scorecard, guys. Please check how you have performed with respect to this scorecard and plan your preparation accordingly. Okay. And if you see here, guys, if you are anywhere between this range, please keep on practicing this quiz again and again so that at least you are able to get till 13 out of 15 correct in this quiz. And that holds true for not only this ITTO quiz but also for the other ITTO quiz like scope, integration, communication, resource, quality, etc., which you will find in the full ITTO playlist of my YouTube channel. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you have learned something new in terms of ITTOs for your PMP and CAPM exam from this video today. Also, don't forget to check out the links of Tech Canvas, which I'll be linking in the description section of this video. I wish you all the best for your PMP exam, for your CAPM exam, whichever you are preparing, and I would see you again soon in another awesome video like this in this channel. Thank you and have a nice day.